working on math today, so you're going to need to go get your math workbook and some paper clips. You might need to ask mom and dad to help you find some paper clips. We're also using math cubes, and I know a lot of you guys are not going to have math cubes at home, and that's okay. You can just listen and write down my answers that I tell you. So go ahead and grab your math workbook and your paper clips. Turn to page 175. It should say lesson 5-4 at the top. Again, that's page 175. All right, I want to make sure everyone has time to get there. 175. All right, measure length. Carl and Riley measure the length of a leaf. Carl uses math blocks, while Riley uses paper clips. Use the math cubes to measure. Count the cubes. So go ahead and take a second, count the cubes that Carl uses to measure the leaf. There's 4. 4 math cubes. Now use your paper clips to measure the leaf, like Riley does. Go ahead and count the paper clips. That's right, there's 2. Carl and Riley do not get the same answer. To get the same answer, they would both have to use cubes or both use paper clips because they're different units of measurement. Go ahead and turn your page to page 176. Use math cubes and paper clips to measure the length of the picture. Measure between the red lines. Okay, again, I know that you might not have math cubes, and that's fine. I'm going to measure. So for number 1, we're measuring, I guess, this green strip. It is 2 math cubes long. Go ahead and take a second and measure it with your paper clip. Count how many paper clips it takes, then write down your answer. I'm going to do the same. I got 1 paper clip. The green strip is 2 cubes long and 1 paper clip long. Number 2, go ahead and take some math cubes if you have them. If not, just listen. And I'm going to measure it. Then go ahead and grab your paper clips and you measure it. Write down your answer. I got 7 math cubes long. And I got 3 paper clips long. Go ahead and make sure you write down the correct answers. Go on to number 3. Yoshi measures the length of a leaf using a small paper clip and then a large paper clip. Will they get the same answer? Tell how you know. Those are using, just because it's a paper clip, if they're 2 different lengths, then that's using 2 different forms of measurement. So their measures are not going to be right. So go ahead and write no, and then copy what I write on the board. No, his answer would be different. Because he's using 2 different forms of measurement. So just write 2 different forms of measurement. I know I'm going kind of fast, so if you need to pause the video to be able to write down the answer, go ahead and feel free. I'm going to move on to the next question. Number 4, if you measure a pencil with cubes instead of paper clips, does it make the pencil longer? Just because you measure it with 2 different forms of units or just different forms of units doesn't mean that the object itself is a different length. It just means you're using different things to measure it. Remember back when we were measuring each other or measuring me? It just depended on what we used. We used dice, and it was less than when we used the cubes. It was more when we used how many first graders does it take to measure Miss Brown. It would have taken us a lot longer if we used how many novels it took. So the answer is no. Just go ahead and write no. We don't need to explain it. We understand. After you finish answering all those questions, go ahead and try to do 177 and 178 on your own. That's 177 and 178 on your own. Where it says to write your answer for how many cubes it is, if you do not have math cubes, don't worry, just leave it blank. It is fine. So just measure with your paper clips. Go ahead and attempt number 4, and then after you finish, show your parents and ask them to see the answer key, because I will post all the answers online. All right, bye first grade.